relationship with him. Lord, you're the only one that can do it for me.
Jamal Hey, we got Jamal here at the happy place.
It was a night that no one inside the Jackson Convention Center will ever forget. The lights dimmed, the crowd fell silent, and in that moment, a single spotlight cut through the darkness, revealing Jamal Roberts standing center stage. Wearing a simple black suit, no frills, no dancers, no spectacle, just one man and a microphone. Then came the opening notes of Heal, and everything changed. What started Alayhi Salam, a familiar piano melody, quickly transformed into something raw, intimate, and almost spiritual. His voice, trembling but powerful, cracked slightly on the first line, not from nerves, but from the weight of the moment. By the time he reached the chorus, the room was awash with emotion. People in the front row were openly crying. Others closed their eyes, holding their chests. But it was during the third verse, an original one he added himself, that the air turned electric. Roberts stepped off the stage, walked slowly down the aisle, and stopped beside a woman in a wheelchair. He reached out, took her hand, and sang directly to her, eyes locked, voices trembling together. The crowd gasped, then stood up alongside. This wasn't just a concert. It was a shared experience of healing, grief, and hope, delivered not by a celebrity, but by a man who knows pain and sings from that place. And as the final note echoed through the ballroom, there was no applause, only stunned silence, followed by a thunderous standing ovation that seemed to last forever. Long before that unforgettable performance, Jamal Roberts was simply Mr. Roberts, the humble PE teacher at Crestwood Elementary School in Meridian, Mississippi. He spent his mornings guiding third graders through jumping jacks and his afternoons coaching after-school sports. But his real passion had always been music. Raised by his grandparents in a deeply religious household, Jamal's first performances weren't in front of audiences of thousands, but in front of pews at the local church. He was just 2 years old when he belted out his first solo during Sunday service, and by age 7, he was leading youth choir rehearsals like a seasoned director. While many Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam simply saw him as just a local talent with a good heart, Jamal harbored bigger dreams. Still, bills had to be paid, and stability was rare in his hometown. So he chose teaching over touring, structure over stardom. But those closest to him knew this was just the calm before his voice would shake the world. Every evening after school, he would retreat to the same small corner of his house, record covers on his cracked iPhone, and upload them to social media. Sometimes they got 10 views, sometimes 1,000. But Jamal didn't care. It wasn't about fame, it was about releasing the sound that refused to stay silent inside him. And slowly, that sound began to be heard. His journey to American Idol was anything but smooth. Jamal Roberts didn't just walk onto that stage and win it all. He auditioned 3 times for the show, each time hearing the same polite rejection. You've got something special, but it's not your time. Most would have taken that Alayhi Salam a final answer. Jamal Sallallahu Alam it Alayhi Salam a challenge. Between auditions, he went back to teaching, went back to singing in churches and funerals, and, when no one else was listening, back to himself. He studied vocal techniques, reworked arrangements, and even tried songwriting, pouring his heartbreaks and struggles into original compositions. And then came his 4th try, season 23. This time, the moment he opened his mouth to sing, the judges froze. His rendition of Heal wasn't just good, it was devastatingly powerful. One judge reportedly whispered, "That's not a cover, that's a resurrection." From there, he became a weekly fixture on America's screens. Each performance peeled back another layer, From Motown classics to stripped-back gospel to acoustic pop, Roberts refused to be boxed in. But behind the scenes, he stayed grounded, FaceTiming his students after every live show, reminding them their dreams mattered too. And when the final night came and the votes were tallied, it wasn't just a win, it was a national moment. Over 26 million votes poured in, crowning him the first black male winner of American Idol since Ruben Studdard. A 20-year gap shattered by one voice that refused to stay in the shadows. But it was the song "Heal" that became his anthem and emotional signature. Originally written and performed by Tom Odell, the song already carried weight, but Jamal gave it new life. When he first sang it on Idol, the producers asked him to keep it tight and on brand, but Jamal pushed back. He wanted to tell a deeper story, one that reflected not just heartbreak, but recovery, from grief, from racial trauma, from being overlooked. He crafted a new third verse, writing it at 3 a.m. on hotel stationery in Los Angeles, and insisted on performing it live, even if it broke format. And it did break something, not just expectations, but the hearts of those watching. The line spoke of a mother lost to illness, a brother gone too soon, and a city still trying to find its voice. Viewers across America sat in stunned silence. The performance went viral within hours. Social media dubbed it the song that bled. Critics called it one of the best live renditions in the show's history. But for Jamal, it wasn't about trends. It was a prayer disguised, alayhi salam, a pop song. And every time he performs it, from stadiums to school gyms, he treats it the same way. On September 19, 2025, he brought that sacredness to Jackson, Mississippi, at the Convention Center Ballroom for a special fundraiser concert benefiting Alcorn State University Athletics. The event had been quietly promoted, with modest ticket prices and limited media coverage, but it sold out in under 48 hours. People didn't just come for a show, they came for a moment. Roberts knew it, and he didn't disappoint. From the first note, the crowd was on edge, unsure whether to clap or cry. Midway through the set, he told the story behind "Heal," how it saved him during his darkest hour, how it reminded him that music could be medicine. Then he sang it, raw, unplugged, no backing track, just a piano and that voice. At the song's climax, he stepped down from the stage and walked straight into the audience, holding hands, sharing tears. One attendee, a cancer survivor, said afterward, "He didn't just sing to us, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam'd us." It wasn't just performance art, it was communal healing. And by the time the lights came back on, people didn't want to leave. They just sat there, clutching tissues, as if waking from a dream they didn't want to end. In the hours following that Jackson performance, something remarkable happened, not just on social media, but in the city itself. Local news anchors, church leaders, and even city council members began posting clips and reflections, calling the performance a spiritual awakening. One post read, "Jamal Roberts didn't just sing in Jackson, he laid hands on the city." The performance of "Heal" started trending not just for its musicality, but for what it represented: connection, empathy, restoration. For many in the room, it became clear that Jamal wasn't just a singer anymore, he was a vessel. A woman who had recently lost her son to gun violence said she had planned to leave halfway through the show. Instead, she stayed, sobbed, and said that for the first time in months, she felt peace. Another man in his 60s said he hadn't cried in 30 years until that night. It wasn't just the lyrics or the arrangement. It was the way Roberts looked each audience member in the eye, like he was singing to their pain personally. After the show, fans lined up for hours not to get autographs, but to hug him. And Jamal stayed until every last person had been seen, heard, and held. No entourage, no ego, just one man, shoulders heavy with purpose, taking the time to make strangers feel whole again. But Jamal's mission extends far beyond one city or one song. Since his win, he's made it clear that he refuses to be boxed into the usual Idol winner template. When labels approached him with auto-tuned pop deals and flashy Vegas show offers, he turned them down. "I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to awaken," he told a Mississippi radio station. His first post-Idol release wasn't a club banger or a polished crossover hit. It was a stripped-down ballad titled Mississippi, released independently in July 2025. The song paid homage to his roots, weaving in elements of gospel, blues, and spoken word poetry. It wasn't chart-chasing, it was soul-bearing. And it resonated. Within weeks, it had amassed millions of streams, especially in the South, where listeners said it felt like coming home. In interviews, Jamal said he'd rather sing at community centers and correctional facilities than at Coachella. "If my music doesn't heal," he said, "then what's the point?" He's currently in talks with public schools across Mississippi to create a music therapy curriculum rooted in emotional storytelling and songwriting, inspired by his journey. This isn't a career, it's a calling. Yet for all his focus and vision, Jamal hasn't been immune to criticism. In fact, the more visible he became, the more polarized the opinions got. Some accused him of being too emotional or too churchy, saying he alienated secular listeners. Others claimed his refusal to go mainstream was naive and unwise for a rookie artist. But Jamal remained unmoved. In one press interview, he addressed the backlash directly. "I'd rather be remembered for staying true than applauded for selling out." That line itself went viral and was quoted by multiple artists and influencers. Still, the pressure mounted. There were weeks when Jamal would go quiet online, post cryptic quotes, or delete Instagram photos. Some fans worried he was burning out. But then he'd resurface, usually with a surprise performance at a hospital, a shelter, or a high school. Each appearance seemed to reset his spirit. He wasn't chasing industry approval, he was anchoring himself in purpose. And that choice, while controversial, may be what sets him apart from every Idol winner before him. He isn't just building a career, he's building a movement. And perhaps that's why the Jackson Convention Center performance was so symbolic. It wasn't part of a tour, it wasn't meant to be a PR stunt or album promo, it was a moment of return to his state, to his people, to the very heart of why he sings. The audience wasn't just composed of fans, but of teachers, students, pastors, and factory workers, everyday people who saw Jamal a mirror of themselves. He didn't walk out like a pop star, he walked out like a messenger. No bodyguards, no backup vocals, just that same boy from Meridian, holding space for the brokenhearted. Allahi Salam, he sang Heal, you could feel the layers peeling off the room. Grief, exhaustion, fear, all replaced with silence, then tears, then hope. And in a world drowning in noise and spectacle, that kind of presence is rare. One local journalist described it best. He reminded us that the best music isn't just heard, it's felt in the bones. Jamal may not have the platinum plaques or the flashy lifestyle of other artists, but what he has is something more dangerous, more powerful. He has the truth, and that truth sings louder than any chart position ever could. Allahi Salam Jamal Roberts continues this next chapter of his journey. One thing remains clear. He is not just America's idol. He is Mississippi's son, the people's voice, and a spiritual force wrapped in melody. His story is still unfolding, but if Heal was any indication, the next chapters will be nothing short of transformative. Industry executives may struggle to categorize him, but audiences know exactly who he is. He's the reminder that music still matters, that live performance can still change hearts, that a former gym teacher from Meridian can walk into a ballroom and leave every soul rearranged. And that, maybe, just maybe, in a world where we're constantly trying to go viral, healing might be the most radical act of all. Alahi Salam fans stream his next single. Alahi Salam cities clamor for him to perform. And Alahi Salam, his impact spreads beyond stages and into the very psyche of those who've heard him. One thing becomes undeniable. This is only the beginning. So if you thought Heal was powerful, just wait. Jamal Roberts isn't finished. He's only just warming up.